We're back, America.
Hey, America. Yeah, what happened was we went outside for a couple minutes and then we came back inside. Damn. The old tin cup bourbon. She didn't last too long, huh, Pete?
No, getting us right.
That shit's smooth, huh?
Yes, sir.
We gotta send them a video of what we're doing here tonight because I'm a big fan of this shit. This is good. I just put a post up. This chick sent me this medieval photo, and the dude eating soup in the photo looks just fucking like me. That's crazy. Crazy. Did we send an invite to that guy?
Yep.
What did he want to talk about, Pat Perez? General Pat Perez stories?
Oh, no.
Is he in?
He's here.
Oh my god, that didn't take long.
Yep.
Holy shit. Did you put on a golf outfit, dude? What's up? Speak
I threw on the old Ripper Magoo, little Bob-mentary cross podcast.
Name, man.
My name is Mike. How are you, Butts?
Mike, how are you?
I'm doing real well.
Good, man. What are you doing?
Just hanging out.
Where you
catching
at?
up on some podcasts. North Scottsdale.
Oh, you live here.
Oh, hell yeah, up in the Greyhawk neighborhood.
Of course, you got money, dude. That's where rich people live.
I don't know about that, but it's where some good fun happens.
Yeah, absolutely. Who else lives up there? Colt Nost. I like
I
saying
see
Colt
him
Nost.
around, actually.
Do you really? He looks like Kevin Stadler, huh?
He does. I imagine he's a little lighter, shaved a few pounds compared to him. But
He had surgery on his wrist or some shit, right?
Yeah, he's on the exempt
Okay.
list for a handful of tournaments at minimum.
I wonder if he's gonna play again.
I hope so. I got a buddy who's like a huge Colt Nose fan from his amateur days, and always dogs him on Twitter for a caddying forum. So it's always a fun little neighborhood golf.
Little interlude.
Yeah, absolutely.
Right on, dude. So you sent us an email. What was the content of that email? You had a question.
I had a couple of things. Maybe it's more contextual because I live in the neighborhood, but
Sure.
Pat Perez is a local favorite here, and Ashley is I know a fan of yours around the neighborhood too. So I was just wondering if you had a few stories to share about your interactions with them, as well as just like tell us a little bit more about hanging with them.
Dude,
I
Pat,
heard it's like the best hang in the world.
I mean, I don't even want to say that Pat gets a bad rap. Maybe some people he rubs the wrong way. But one thing that I love about Pat Perez, and since I met him when I first started out on Instagram, playing golf together, this and that, he's just a fucking, like, despite the money and the fame, and I mean, this dude's got millions and millions of dollars. He keeps it fucking real, and despite his sponsors, despite everything else, he lays it out on the line. If you say something, if you talk shit to Pat Perez, like, you better be willing to back it up because he's going to light you on fire. And that's the most fun about interacting with him on a personal level and hanging out with him is basically the shit talk, because he can take it and it's like Battle Dome. You know what I mean? Like, especially coming out of my mouth. I mean, now he always likes to pull the trump card. Here, why don't you fucking try to walk the golf course with my wallet in your pocket? Shit like that, like. Because it's heavy, you get the joke, right? But
Yeah.
he is very cool, dude. Very down to earth. And he's got his opinions. And I don't know if you listen to XM Radio with him and Michael Collins. I was actually on there on Tuesday. But he lets it all out, man. He lets it fly. He does not give two fucks. Obviously, he's later in his career. He doesn't have to worry about that. He's got an open mouth, and he speaks, I think, the language that a lot of those guys wish that they could, if that makes sense. But speaking to how good Pat Perez is, thinking that you can beat these guys, etc. Played a few rounds of golf with him, and I remember one thing that kind of really shines through. We were out at Greyhawk Golf Club playing. I'm sure. How far do you live from Greyhawk?
0.6 miles is my go-to.
Yeah,
man.
so you're not far. You go to Izzy's? You ever hang out at Izzy's?
Oh, fucking Izzy's, the local bistro, man. I'm in the hood.
Oh, dude, cool. They got good pizza.
Oh yeah.
But what was I gonna say? I lost my train. Oh, so we're out at Greyhawk playing. I brought a buddy with me, and I wouldn't say that I was hitting it terribly. I was playing pretty well, but we got to like 13 or 14, and my buddy was keeping score. And this was kind of an eye opener, you know, because I'm not bad at golf. I'd like to think I'm decent at it, and I work pretty hard at it. I said, what's he at? How far are we back right now? Like, should I press him? What's he at? Like, what? Hang on, we got a little technical difficulty here. Echo. Better? Where's the echo? Hang on, sorry, Mike. We're learning. Anyway, so we got to like the 14th hole, and I said, what's he at? Like 2 or 3 under? My boy's like, try 7. I was like, what? We've been drinking all fucking day. You can't tell. Like, I remember, I'm going through the round instantly in my head, like, where did he hit it there? Oh, yeah, I guess he did flop it up there to like 12 feet and make that putt. Oh, and he made that putt. Oh, and I guess he made that putt too. These dudes are just so fucking good. Like, they're on a different planet. And he's one of them, obviously. Despite his archaic age, he's so fucking old. But they're good, man. And that was right before he tore his calf muscle. We won't talk about that. You know, I wish there was a cooler story behind that. I'm pretty sure he went into the gym trying to get healthy, trying to follow in the steps all these young bucks, and I think he literally went to stretch his calf, like on a little step-up stool, and tore that motherfucker all to shreds. So, yeah. Pat's cool, man. I've gotten. Go ahead.
Oh yeah. So I was gonna say. So obviously you play a little with Pat. And one of the other things, at least in the neighborhood up here, Ashley has a pretty solid presence. You always know when she's around.
Yeah, you do.
I like to see her dog you on Instagram. You got any stories or interactions you want to share with the crowd?
Oh, I do. Yes, I do. Yeah. What happened? This happened like 2 weeks ago. She actually hurt my feelings. 100% hurt my feelings. I was like, you know, fuck Ashley Perez. I'm never going to talk to her again. Like, God, I don't like her. So she posted, I think Pat was out of town. She was in the garage, and she was chronicling her Bentley. She's in the paint job on it, and it's like this fucking terrible looking chameleon metal flake paint job. She was super proud of it. And I basically turned into one of my followers and like had an opinion on it. I had to DM her, I had to tell her. I was like, that looks like shit. And she's like, yeah, you can't afford this. And I was like, what? And she's like, yeah, you can't afford this. And I was like, well, that doesn't mean anything. Like, it looks like shit. And then she said, I don't know that I ever fucking asked you whether or not you like the way my car looks. And I was like, damn, that's the shit that I say to people. I feel terrible about myself. Instantly, I was like, all right. And then I was like, I'm a blocker. I'm a deleter from my page. I'm so mad right now. But, yeah, that was something that happened like a week ago. And I told Pat about it because I brought it up on PJ Tour Radio the other night, and he knew all about the story because she actually felt bad about it. She shut me down big time, though. So, yeah, that's one thing. Otherwise, there's a lot of things that we talk about that I'm not of liberty to discuss about a lot of people. I wish I could tell you. What? Buttsy doesn't have one? Oh, you changed the fucking caption. You see this shit down here? Fuck you, Paulo. What else, though, man? What do you do, Mike?
I work in software development. So develop some applications to help different people in the learning environment, so educators and healthcare professionals and things like that. I know you're in the healthcare industry. Myself work with facilitating nurses learning in their professional development in a digital world. It's funny, I do want to throw in one thing.
Please.
About
no,
Ashley.
you get the floor is yours.
At the end of the day, she ran out of gas one day, so you could always throw that back at her.
Ashley did?
Yeah, if you recall her Instagram story having a couple of people roll her Bentley that you just mentioned into the gas station because she ran out of gas at the corner. You could always try to leverage that one if you can somehow roll back and
Oh, I'm
see
surprised
that
she didn't
when
have
she's
like
out on the
mid
street.
freeway refueling provided for her.
Right? You would think so.
God, she's gonna see this. I'm never gonna hear the fucking end of it. No, man, they're cool people. I've been up to Pat's place at the Rim Club. I got to stay up there with him, play some golf, hang out for a night. There was a lot of insightful things said that I would have never fucking known. Again, these are things that, just like yourself, if you would have been there, you would have heard, you would have been a part of the conversation. You would not recite these things, so I don't feel guilty for not exposing those things on the air. But use your imagination. You're probably not too far off. It had to do with a lot of different tour players. And frankly, dude, there's some weird shit going on the PGA Tour. And there's a lot of cover-ups on the PGA Tour. There's a lot of, and I'm not saying that Pat or Ashley exposed that information to me. Okay, I'll disclaim that, of course. But, yeah, you see a lot of players that are, quote-unquote, hurt, right, or are out from an injury or whatnot. It's not always what meets the eye. The PGA Tour is very good, unlike other sports, about protecting their, and also quote-unquote, athletes. Not all of them are athletes. Fuck that. That's a myth. But, yeah. Craig Stadler's not a fucking athlete. I'm sorry. He's got great hand-eye coordination. He's probably a great ping pong player, probably great at shooting pool. Same with his son. Not hating on that. Athlete, Craig's not running the 40-yard dash. Anyways, what else you got, man? You want to talk about anything else before we let you go?
There's a few other things I sent over in terms of.
What did he send over, Paulo? You didn't tell me.
I'm a huge golf fan in general, and the guys that I play golf with, the guys that I grew up with.
Yeah.
Chatting. I mean, the big conversation right now is about the President's Cup. So like the lineup, like is there the politics around what we came out of the Ryder Cup, things like that. I mean, just your fandom around professional golf and the team environment or the team competitions at the moment. That's one of the things I sent over just as a topic. I mean, there's a storyline here and there if you're in the media and you make it. However, just kind of wanted to feel your vibe out on like those
the President's Cup and how that's all going down.
Yeah, just anything about like the selections, and I mean, there was some drama in the clubhouse last year. Just if you had any thoughts about the President's Cup in general leading up to it.
I can only suppose, but real quick, I got to do a quick shout out because these guys paid to be here tonight. I'm going to do a quick little sponsor shout out. Got to do a shout out to Regal Oils. All right, my boy Jeff, owner and proprietary Regal Oils. He's just gotten into the space of CBD products. He makes awesome CBD products. Go check them out. And I'll leave it at that. I'm not going to go into an extensive. I have their products. I eat their gummy bears. I've made sandwiches out of them before. They're awesome. But back to the President's Cup. I think that it's a click, man. I think that it's a click. And that would be, and I can't confirm that obviously, but wouldn't it be obvious to suppose that, okay, you got a bunch of guys that are playing that also happen to hang out together outside of golf. There's so many good players and there's so many people to choose from. How is it the same guys that spend more time with each other than they do anybody else on tour that just so happen to frequent the top 20? I mean, you got 20 other picks like there's other dudes. So I think that there's definitely a bit of glad handing going on there. And I talked about it in the last little bit that we were talking about with Ricky Fowler and how, he came up as a replacement for Koepka. And then this underground info that I heard that he hasn't been playing or practicing. He's been partying and having a great time. Now, obviously, he's Ricky Fowler, but there's dudes that are 100% seasoned. And if you know golf, and I'm guessing you do, you've played competitive golf before. You look like you play competitive golf. You're wearing a fucking badass golf hat right now. What does that say? Oh, you're wearing Bob's hat?
Bob Menery, man.
Dude, I might just fucking cut it off right there. We're going to send you a hat, dude. You're getting a hat. I'm tired of this shit. These fucking Ripper Magoos. Jesus Christ, I can't believe it's that popular. But he's done a good job for himself.
If you note the spitter tonight, it's a latte.
Oh my God, you got a latte there? All right, so it's the best of both worlds, but you're spitting in it. That's a disgrace, dude. I never spit in a latte can.
Don't worry, we got more on deck. We got more on deck.
So, to your point, man, yeah, I think it's absolutely clicky. And what I was going to say, if you play competitive golf, you know that to play good competitive golf, you got to do it frequently and you got to do it often. And you're only as good as the most recent shit that you've done. If you haven't played in a while, you know, your first event, you go out, shoot 74, 68, 79, miscut, and not even get to the weekend. But you're going to the President's Cup to represent the United States on a team of the most supposedly elite golfers in the United States. There's some other choices, and I think that those choices went to the wayside. And I think that friendship and bonds. It's no fucking secret that when Tiger's not on tour or wasn't on tour, Ricky is known to be at his backyard with Justin Thomas, chipping balls with him. They became friends. They're kind of the young guys on tour that he kind of took under his wing. And so I think that if you're trying to say that that has nothing to do with the pick, I think that's absolutely false. Now,
Yeah.
right? I think it's very glad handy. I think it's it's very political.
I totally agree, and that's a conversation in my group as well. Where, I mean, Ricky, does he make the most sense of the last 12 months? Does he make the most sense of the last 3 months? You got guys like you got guys like Kevin Na winning out there recently, and those guys, they have consistently been the 13th or 16th man over the last 6 years, and they're proving their worth more recently so than Ricky, and Ricky's the guy on deck. It just doesn't make a lot lot of sense.
No, the numbers don't make sense.
That's kind of why I asked the question, just to kind of see your vibe on it as well. And you have a very similar feel as a lot of the golf guys I talk to.
Well, so I look at the math, right? I'm sure you do. Like statistically, that doesn't make sense. And then, there's a caveat to that because you can say, well, look what he's done and look at his ability to perform under pressure. Look what he did at the Players. And you can reference all these things, and they would. I think that they would reference those things if confronted with this. Did you add him to the team because he's your boy, basically? And you wouldn't be able to argue against that. They would have an out, but secretly, anybody that's in the know that follows golf, that watches it on a consistent basis, we're on the same page, you and I, 100%. Doesn't make sense. I don't know. This is a vexing question, man, because I don't know if you played. Did you play college and high school golf and shit?
Didn't play college. Definitely played through high school. Competitive enough in the nature of just a couple of guys on tour that I grew up playing with. Not that I'm closely connected with them, but I hear stories through other friends.
Yeah.
It's all about the networking, like golf and in any other industry. I mean, you're in the healthcare network. I'm in the IT network. Like, it's really, I mean, the who you know thing plays into golf, plays into professional sports more than we think as casual sports fans.
Sure.
We got to keep that in our minds if we're super fans.
So
super fans are really trying to break down when we have 12 people on the plate, what went into that. And more so in golf, than any other sport, whether it's, the NBA All-Star Game when we're picking Giannis versus LeBron,
right,
and things like that, we don't see it as under a microscope as we do in golf.
Well, here's a
I
thought.
think that preference comes out a lot more.
Mike, here's a thought that just hit me in my drunken stupor because this is all kind of playing out in my mind, and I'm 100% on board with what you're saying. I have to agree with it statistically. But one thing I think, and I just thought of this, it's a team event, right? It's a team, and keyword team. And if there's camaraderie, despite how cliquey or political that camaraderie might be, if Ricky's addition makes for better chemistry for a team event, given the fact that they all get along and they can operate as a squad because they hang out outside of golf, maybe that has something to do with it. I don't know.
And I think it does, Buttsy. But then you look at the pick. I mean, then you look at the pick of Patrick Reed. I mean, Obviously, in terms of the
Fuck
standings,
Patrick
he should
Reed.
have been in it. You're right. We're all on the same boat there. I think. I don't think we need to
We won't go
debate
there.
that at all. But I mean, where does the line draw? Does the line draw at 8? Does the line draw at 10? Does the line draw at 12? With Patrick, I mean, you pick him because he's like defaulted because he's within the top 12. But if you're truly going that way, well, go that way. If you pick Patrick and then you say like I want to pick my pals because it's a good dynamic, I feel like the Ricky dynamic doesn't make a lot of sense because there's other better players out there. If you're picking a guy like Patrick,
I think
so. Like, which way you're
Patrick
going
has a
with it?
soft spot in Tiger's heart. I believe that.
Yes, specifically with Tiger, I think so. However, with the team dynamic, I think we were shown a year ago that wasn't the case. So it's like I understand
Fair.
Tiger has a difficult job and every captain does, but like I get where you're going with your line of questioning and your thought you just had because it makes a lot of sense. It's like, what's the method to my madness with picking people? What's the method to the madness of assembling a team?
Right.
What's the method to madness of addressing a team sport? And it just seems like there's a little bit of a mixed message. And
I agree.
I agree.
What drives me as a golf fan at the end of it, when you have a little bit of a mixed message, is like, I want the best guy in there. I don't think the best guy is Ricky. And that's kind of been the conversation in my group lately. And that's kind of why I
let
wanted
me
to
ask
bring
you
it up
this.
with you all today.
Who would you pick?
I would pick Kevin. Just because he's proven that he's won lately. I'm like, oh, what have you done for me? I live in a what have you done? No, excuse me. Actually, that's a good question. I would actually pick Kevin Na.
Kevin Na.
Kevin Kisner. Yeah, because I live in a what have you done for me lately industry. And to me, that's what drives a lot of my decisions day to day. And Kevin Na has proven what have you done for me lately in the last couple of months. And obviously, the fall golf isn't like a fair assessment. When we have a November team event, it's a little tough for anybody to choose an option because it's just an odd time of the year in golf. But like if you look at the last 3 months and you say, what have you done for me lately? I don't know if you could pick a guy over Kevin Na.
The Kevin Na playoff win? Oh my god.
Oh my god.
Right?
Right, and that's where I'm going with it. Is like,
I know.
If you pick a guy like Patrick, you're throwing out the team dynamic out the window. If you pick a guy like Ricky, you're like introducing it, and so like that doesn't like it's kind of
It's mixed, like you
have
said.
your
There's a
cake and eat it
mixed
too.
signal there.
100%. And if we're super golf fans, I mean, maybe I'm a little too deep into it at the moment, but like.
No, I
it
think
just-
this is good, dude. I think you're speaking to the core of us, the people that really know and appreciate golf, like that are in it and like really into it. That's the lines you're talking on. There's some people that aren't going to get this, right? Like, there's a lot of people that aren't going to understand this, that are just fucking, yeah, fucking Tiger. Like that guy. That guy's not going to get this. But if you're into the core of the game, you're tied to it. You live, eat, sleep, breathe it, all that. What we're talking about should make sense for sure.
Yeah, and I have two last things if you give me. a
Yeah,
minute
go ahead,
here.
man. Oh, 100%. I got nowhere to go.
So the main thing is I watch you and Chad play a ton of golf together. But the one thing I don't see is like a little bit of insight into what does a match look like? Do you play a match? Do you have like a standard setup? Do you have like here and there you play, or do you not play because there's a big gap? Or like what does a match with Chad look like?
Chad. Gambling? Monument Chad?
Monument Bad Chad or Dad Chad, Mad Chad.
We do, man. So here's the deal. I'll give you a little backstory there. So for like the last year, I've been terrible at golf. I haven't put any time into it. You know, obviously Instagram and all this other bullshit. I haven't had a desire to practice, and there hasn't been any drive there. So my game has been kind of a shell of what it.
Hey, disclaimer though, terrible is relative.
Well, of course it is. It's relative, yeah. But like I'm saying, in terms of my personal, you know, like what I'm capable of, it's been a far cry from where it can be. Because I grew up, you know, playing competitive golf, played junior golf, played college golf, all that, played high school golf, and I'm used to grinding, 5 hours a day and putting the work in, playing in tournaments and doing all the bullshit. And when you sharpen that edge to that point, that once you achieve that, your mental game doesn't go away. You still see the shots, you still see all that. So I would say we're getting to the point where matches are starting to become a lot more intimate and personal. But prior to the last like probably month, we have team games. We play cart games. Pretty simple. We play a $10 cart game. Press when you're pissed. Nobody loses more than $100, and it's always pretty fairly matched. There might be that outside chance that there's a fucking a hack that joins on the weekend. He gets fucking 10 shots aside or whatever it is, but it always works out to be pretty fair. The problem that I have is if I'm playing on a Saturday, all right, I work a full-time job. Regardless, now this is regardless of practicing all week or whatever, which I've started to do again and really grind. And there's a reason for that I can't disclose to you right now. This is not just I decided one day to wake up and at 34 years old and I'm going to go and do cardio every day and eat better and grind my dick off every night. There's a reason for this. I can't really talk about it quite yet, but the game's coming back online. But Saturdays, regardless, I still work a full-time job. Where I was going with that was, that's my day. Saturday's my booze day. And as I've gotten older, I combine the two. I like to play competitively, play for a little bit of money, and I also like to get really fucked up on a Saturday. I Uber to the golf course. Everybody knows that's my day. Otherwise, yeah, dude, we play a $10 Nassau. It's nothing crazy. It never gets too out of hand. We don't have $1,000 match or anything like that. And Monument Bad Chad, from when I met Chad can play some golf now. He's a seasoned competitor. He's going to go out. He's not going to shoot worse than 73, and he might shoot 67. So there's a benchmark there. It's competitive for sure.
For sure. And that's the thing I was looking for. Not so much about the money. Like, I'm not infatuated about the money in golf.
Sure.
I'm infatuated about the game. So that was really cool that you gave at the end there, like a little bit of insight of like what you guys shoot. What does the game look like? So that was really the premise, the essence of my question. One last thing I gotta mention.
Yeah.
As obviously I'm a huge Minery fan and Buttsy fan. Should the situation ever arise where there's a Buttsy Bob matchup,
that's gonna happen.
And and you're looking for a little golf, a little Greyhawk sponsor. I'm looking for any opportunity to be around either you in terms of.
Well, Bob's kind of a big leaguer now. You know that. So
I do. He went like up a tier like dramatically the last 60 days. So I not 60 days.
We would have to sponsor to get Bob to Scottsdale. Bob is not going to. Now, I think he's coming to Buttsy Bash. I hope you are too. That's January 30th. Are you going to be there?
Thus far, that's the plan.
All right, I'm going to get you a free ticket because we got some. I don't have the details worked out. We'll get into that later, but it's going to be fucking stupid this year. It's going to be, there's alcohol sponsors. There's an extended patio happening, whatever. Bob was there last year briefly. He will be here this year. We're trying to work it out where we can fit in some sort of a filmed match when he's in town. But in terms of getting Bob to Greyhawk, Bob's not just going to, he's a busy guy these days. It's going to take $5,000 to get him out here and get him to the golf course. Outside of that, you and I, we can go to LA. We can always go to LA and play against Bob, and that's been a welcoming from him since day one. You want to come out to LA? You want to play? I would love to go play. We'll do it. So we just got to make that happen. That's kind of what that looks like. Yeah, we've talked about a match for a long time.
Well, I hope this is my first time engaging with the YouTube channel and the podcast.
Dude, you're good at it. You're not awkward.
I love podcasts in general, and this is the beginning of hopefully an engagement. You'll see me pop in here and there, at minimum with comments, and I look forward to any bit of opportunity to meet up with you. Obviously at the fest, and definitely.
Yeah, Mike, DM me after this on Instagram. I'm gonna give you my cell phone number, and let's hook up. Let's definitely play some golf. This is the first night that we've been successful technology-wise at being able to produce this shit. And I didn't tell Bob that before I had him on tonight, but this is literally the first night that this has worked successfully. This whole program, this split screen, the titles, the sound, the audio, it's a lot, right? Like, people don't really think about what goes into that, but it has taken a lot of troubleshooting to get to the point where I can talk to you openly like this, and I can hear you live. I got my TV up. I'm looking, so if you see me look to the right like this, I'm looking at the TV screen because I can see your face over there. I'm sorry I'm not looking at the camera, but DM me your cell phone number. I would love to chat with you further, man, and at least get out and tee it and then tell you some of these stories that I can't tell you here, if you will.
Buttsy, that would be an absolute treat. I'm going to do that. I'm going to hit you up here in a few minutes.
All right,
I
Mike.
appreciate the time tonight, and thank you for the opportunity to ask my questions.
Pleasure, sir. I didn't get to tell you I love your fucking glasses, by the way. They look good.
Right on. I'm a big spec guy, man. Any and all.
All right, Mike.
Too.
Adios, my friend.
Have a great evening. Thank you very much.
You too. That was good. I like Mike, dude. We're gonna go one more commercial break. We're gonna take one more caller. I didn't realize, because obviously, like I just said, if you were listening to this, this is the first night that this is all worked out. So in terms of length of a guest, how long they're gonna be on, how that's gonna go, what rabbit hole we're gonna walk down, and we don't even have to talk about golf, you guys. You want to talk about aliens? You want to talk about Jesus? You want to talk about Trump? I don't give a shit what you want to talk about, but. We're going to take one more guest before the night is over. And I'm sure Paulo will go ahead and throw this up. You're going to email info@butsyworldwide.com. I need your handle, what your name is on YouTube or whatever the fuck I don't care. We'll figure it out. And something meaningful that we can elaborate on for another 20, 30 minutes before I hit the hay, because I got a long day tomorrow. Keep in mind, she'll have a job. My girlfriend's coming to town. Super excited about that. But we're going to take a break. And you got about 10, 15 minutes, I'd say. Probably a little longer because I'm terrible with time. Email us a topic. We're going to take one more guest in, just like Mike there, and chat with you. All right? Thanks for listening. I love you. Go Whoop Cries. And we're out.